My name is Mike Friton, and I've been working with athletic footwear for the past 35 years. My first experience was modifying my own training shoes. Later, I began working with Bill Bowerman to help other athletes. This is where I was introduced to the last, or form, that the shoe is built around. We work with doctors to customize shoes to meet the needs of the athletes. It's difficult to find good information about the last, so we often learn through trial and error. I also searched through medical libraries and studied orthopedic shoemaking. With this video, I'm hoping to present my thoughts about the last so that better solutions in footwear design can be found. The shape of the last is quite different from the shape of the foot. The shape has evolved from manufacturing methods, fashion, and concepts of fit. These can change the gait of the wearer and can compromise health. If we look at each of the features of the last and describe its function and effect on the natural gait, a deeper understanding can be developed. With this new understanding, new directions can be explored to improve fit and function. Beginning at the toe, we can see that the shape is more symmetrical and longer than the measurement of the foot. The extra length is to accommodate the foot when transitioning from a flat stance up onto the ball of the foot. During this transition, the relative length of the bottom of the foot increases in relation to the footbed. This is much like bending a book where the top page appears to lengthen relative to the bottom page. Because the midsole and outsole will not stretch, extra length must be added to the shoe. Having this extra material beyond the length of the foot can influence the toe-off portion of the gait. The toe area of the last has a more symmetrical shape than the foot, primarily for aesthetic reasons. This draws the large toe towards the center of the shoe. During the natural barefoot gait, the toes spread when the foot is on the ground to provide more stability. By pulling the toes toward the center of the shoe, it puts the foot into a slightly pronated stance and can contribute to excessive pronation. The next feature is the toe spring of the last. This is built into the last so that the midsole and outsole material will spring up to follow the foot. Without it, you can trip over the sole. If you've ever worn a pair of flip-flops of flat foam, you may have experienced this. The midsole should have enough flexibility to flatten out when weighted, or it can cause long-term effects with the toes and metatarsals. Another aspect to the toe area of the shoe is the midsole taper, where it is thicker at the ball joint and tapers to the tip of the toes. This provides a rocker effect to transition through the thickness of the midsole. When weighted, this can flatten, causing the first toe to drop below the metatarsal joint. This effect also tensions the top of the shoe, pulling the first toe towards the center of the foot and contributing to pronation. The curvature across the ball of the last is a feature called the crown. This provides a slight cross-rocker effect that makes it easier to transition through the shoe. It is important for the health of the foot to maintain a uniform thickness of material across the metatarsals. The sole then flattens out when weighted and springs back to follow the foot. In older methods of manufacturing, flat sheetstock EVA foam was sculpted in the metatarsal area to form a divot that matched the crown of the last. This allowed for better aesthetics and ease in manufacturing, but did not follow basic principles of healthy footwear construction. This became standard practice and is often followed today. The result has been health problems with the metatarsal and plantar surface under the foot. Moving back along the outside or lateral portion of the last, you can see where the radius around the outside or toe area transitions into the radius of the heel. Most lasts start this transition much sooner than the natural shape of the foot. This discrepancy can put pressure on the proximal end of the fifth metatarsal. If the upper provides too much pressure at this point, it can influence pronation. It can also allow the foot to splay over the side of the midsole when weighted if this material is more relaxed. The reason the last deviates from the natural foot shape in this area is for fashion and manufacturing, where heel-lasting equipment was used. The bottom of the last in the heel area is called a heel seat. With some athletic footwear, it has become common to create a negative heel seat or pocket for the heel to sit in. This can produce excessive pressure along the plantar surface between the heel and arch, resulting in foot cramping and pain. I've shared my thoughts on key elements about the last and the effect they have on shoe design. The industry continues to build product influenced by manufacturing methods and fashion without regard to the long-term health of the wearer. I hope this video will start a more constructive dialogue about the shape and form of the last. There have been many features in athletic footwear that promote performance, but they offer no benefit if they compromise the health of the wearer and sideline the athlete with injury. At the end of the day, Bowerman often gave me a few simple words of advice. Make good stuff, do no harm, and keep it simple.